All right, so a couple of questions. Now, like we said earlier, Disney Channel as a kid. And as we can tell, I mean, you just sang a song that was about love and being an adult, obviously, and all the stuff that we go through in adolescence and as we grow older. So what is how does it feel being a Disney kid and now being somebody who's, you know, showing that you're an adult and writing your own music about things that you go through?
Sure. Well, the great thing about working with Disney is I started when I was 12 years old.
Right.
And I did 2 shows with them, 1 movie, and I learned everything. Like, I mean, not everything, but as being from, like, starting at 12 and ending when I was turning almost 18, that was, like, my entire childhood. And it was, like, my own little playground. Not only did I get to learn and evolve as an actress, but I got to learn more about how the writers work,
right,
or the different directors that come in, or the camera operators. Like, I got to learn all these different things, and so it made me grow up really quickly. And I was living in an adult environment, so the transition has been interesting. And music was originally what I wanted to do. My dad was a musician, and I was just surrounded by music growing up, and I knew it was in my bones. I knew it was something that I wanted to do, but how I was going to do it, I wasn't quite sure.
Right.
But I ended up falling in love with acting at the same time, and I had to kind of alienate music for a hot minute to focus on the show that I was working on, because that took up, like, all of my time, like 9 months out of the year, working 5 days a week. And it was interesting when I got back into music and actually started to understand and learn how I was going to do this and how I was going to grow as an artist and as an individual. And it's been a really fun journey and a really interesting one, and I've learned a lot and met a really, like, ton of great people along the way to help me.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I told you earlier that my dream as a kid, this is embarrassing, was to be a Disney star, and it never happened. So I have to ask you, because this is the closest I'll ever get to being near one, I guess. Did you guys, this was my fantasy, like, hanging out with all my Disney friends, singing songs at sleepovers, and eating the Mickey Mouse ice cream. Is that what you guys did? If it's no, don't answer the question, because you're going to crush my fantasy. So she's not answering, so that's going to stay in my head. So anyway, you said that you put your music on hold, and you actually did a movie with Renee Zellweger.
Yeah.
And you were her daughter in the movie. Mm-hmm. Do you realize that you kind of look like her? Is that
really?
What? Yeah.
No, I've never gotten that before.
Not like to the T, but
sure,
you could pass for a daughter, so.
Thank you.
How was that?
That was a really, so I worked with her on a Paramount film called Same Kind of Different as Me, which comes out in February. Really, really beautiful story, based off of a true story, actually. And it was the first time that I ever got to play a character that is, like, living.
Right.
And so I actually got to sit down with the woman that I played, who's now a little bit older, and I got to really understand what it was like going through that time with her family. But Renee and Greg Kinnear played my dad, and John Voight, John Minhonsu, like this really incredible cast. And I walked in and I was like, hi. But they were really, really great people, and Renee is probably the most down-to-earth human being I think I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah, her voice can, like, put you to sleep. Like, I feel like on a rough day, you just, like, lay your head on her lap, and she just talks to you. Did she do that? Because that's another, like,
it's actually
if not, then don't say anything.
It's actually really interesting because the film, it's a tearjerker, like, so make sure you bring tissues when you go see it. But at least for me, and almost every single one of my scenes, I had to cry, and with Renee. And I remember it was, I think, the second day of me working, and I was, like, cuddling up to Renee on the couch in the middle of this scene, and she just starts crying. And in the script, it doesn't say she has to cry. She just starts crying. And then I, like, felt, like, her pain. So then I start crying, and I don't even remember what the scene was about anymore. I just, like, was like, Renee's crying, so I'm crying. And it was, like, this whole emotional fiasco. And it ended up being a really beautiful scene. But when you watch it, I'm not crying because of probably the situation. I'm just crying because Renee was crying.
Can you cry right now?
Well, I'm not going to.
I was just asking, can you cry on cue?
Yeah, sometimes it's pretty challenging, I think, depending on the day, too. I'm not going to cry right now.
I tried. I really did. You saw it.
That's so mean.
Yeah! I just got this done.
I know. long. So you're on the Rise of the Phoenix tour right now.
Yeah.
It is your first tour.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Fisher came out and joined you. You guys are friends, right?
Yeah.
How's it going? Like, what's tour life like, especially the first tour with your first album? Like,
Yeah.
It's got to be insane.
Oh no, it's bananas. I've never experienced anything like this in my entire life, but it's so cool. I'm having a blast. We had our 6th show last night of the tour, and it's been going so great so far. I've been experiencing what bus life is like with a bunch of dudes. It's awesome. Yeah. And no offense, I love you.
But you're dirty.
But yeah. But it's fun. I mean, I'm getting a chance to see what it's like playing venues with a different crowd of people that I'm used to playing. So it's a really fun time, and every crowd that we've had so far has been so good to me, and I'm really having a blast.
You're in New York at the Highline, right? On
Yeah.
2 days?
That's
cool.
on Wednesday.
New York.
Yeah, I know.
Is that like insane for
Yeah,
you?
no.
Like,
It's well, when I found out that I was playing in New York, I got really excited because I have a lot of friends here.
Yeah.
So I was like, guys, you gotta come to the show. So it'll be fun.
okay, and for the record, you didn't have sleepovers and sing and eat ice pops.
I'm so sorry.
All right. Well, if you guys have any questions,
We had sleepovers.
with who? Tell me.
Well, I'm not sure. It's probably not like who you grew up with. Because
like
it was
no
probably
Justin,
my generation.
no Justin and Brittany.
No, because I'm like,
A little young.
yeah, I'm like.
Yeah, I know,
20
but
years
still,
younger
I
than
mean, it doesn't matter. She's part of the roster. You could always call them and be like, hey, you know, you guys are on Disney, I'm on Disney. Like, let's, teach me your ways.
That's how it
Tell me stories. Let's exchange, war stories
You really
here.
think Brittany and
I'm just
Justin
thinking.
are gonna sleep in the same room together anymore? Just saying.
Yeah.
It's a fantasy, and everybody's ruining it. They're ruining it right now. All right. Do you guys have any questions? Because no, you were singing every word to every song.
Yeah, you
have
were.
to have,
I'm so happy.
You have to have a question.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I watched her on, like, everything she's been on, and I want to see her new movie.
Thank you. You'll love it. It's a good one. It's a really, really good one.
All right. Well, her album Olivia is out in stores now. She's going to be at the Highline on the 16th. So check her out. Get her album. See her new movie. And thank you for coming. We had a great time.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, y'all.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Bye.